Context. We live in societies dominated by every kind of economic, social, cultural, political, and spiritual vampire. They've all got something to sell, and they're all making money, and they're all enjoying the fruits of a worldly life. And I want to ask you why you believe Eckhart Tolle is any different. And I want to ask you, why would love or truth imitate these spiritual vampires as if to endorse them? Their behavior is destroying the earth and all our children's future. That is a fact. It's their greed beyond anything that drives the development of the societies we live in. By imitating them, he's endorsing them. And he's endorsing the principle of uncontrollable greed to all his followers. Last time I checked, he had over 80 million in his bank account, $80 million. I imagine that could feed 1 million hungry families for a year in the Horn of Africa, for example, who are experiencing the consequences of our greed more than any other nation, region, possibly. And you got to ask, has love perfected his life and his teaching? Well, we've looked at his life. Now let's look at his teaching. I can't believe even Buddhists have not seen with clarity that Eckhart Tolle is not encouraging you to understand yourself at all. The whole purpose of meditation for the Buddha was to understand suffering and to transcend suffering, to understand. You know, possibly one of the saints, inverted commas, that Eckhart Tolle quotes the most is Yiddu Krishnamurti, which is so ironic because Yiddu Krishnamurti really warned against people like him. What Yiddu Krishnamurti said was one must have no authority at all. He never went into engage complex and grand, or not grand at all actually, but pretty banal descriptions of psychological and life and meditation and everything. It didn't just feed you your brain with explanations and knowledge. If you look at what Eckhart Tolle does, that's all he does. He sits there giving you a lecture and telling you to practice. I mean, Yiddu Krishnamurti went to such lengths to explain why practice destroys meditation. Because then the meditator comes in, the ego, the thought, trying to practice. And you practice because you want to achieve something, you want to gain. For me, I don't meditate consciously. Just like Krishnamurti said, conscious meditation is not meditation at all. There's no conscious meditation in me because life has showed me through the course of my observation of it that I have to observe and understand what is happening in me from moment to moment. I have to see and understand what's going on in me all the time. And because I realize the need to do that, naturally I observe as best I can, but I encountered the obstacles as well. And the obstacles are energetic, they're to do with the spiritual environment, etc., etc. There's a journey of understanding that is illuminating my life. And my life is very different to your life. You can't generalize these insights. As Krishnamurti and the Buddha always said, you have to be a light unto yourself. Now, is Eckhart Tolle helping you to do that? There's so many problems with what he does. Beyond, look, all of Eckhart Tolle's followers believe what he says, trust what he says. Therefore, he's an authority. Therefore, they're not questioning what he says and observing and understanding to find out at all. They're following, believing, and being conditioned by him, conditioned by knowledge. This is an accumulation of problems, of burden, of darkness, of the illusory hope you offer them, the illusory complacency you encourage in them. You are destroying them. I've heard people say, I do what you say, I try to be present, but over and over again, the thought just comes in, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What a violence. All these followers, when they're not getting anywhere or when the progress seems rather illusory, they start to ask what they're doing wrong. And they would never question you. That's the very opposite of any sane response to a teacher. If I reject any idea that we need a teacher. We needed one honest, good person to tell us the truth. That every teacher will exploit you. Every teacher will undermine the intrinsically free action of love, of consciousness, of whatever you are, and impose on Mother Nature a burden. If you try and practice presence, you distort your natural movements with a practice, and therefore you don't see and understand your natural movements, and therefore you don't heal them. Who's this from? Someone who observes and understands their life. That's all. Are you one of these people? Or are you someone who follows? You know, beliefs and including the belief in a person is such a dangerous thing spiritually. We've got to be free of all beliefs. All guidance is catastrophic to me. Even inner guidance. I was guided into a ditch with that gullible naivety that is ubiquitous in spiritual circles. My inner guide. You don't know what it is. There's dark energies in you trying to sabotage everything you do. It's no good as a theory. You've got to see it in you. You got to understand yourself. And few people illuminate the dark, resistant aspects like I have, because few people have got such negative, traumatized, evil energies in them as I have. So it's not a point of pride. Yeah. But my well, it's not conscious meditation. No, it's not meditation. I reject that word. It's perception and understanding of what is, of what you are. I've had to learn this stuff in myself, and therefore it's illuminated an understanding specific to what I've gone through and therefore what I am. When I say I really mean the organism. Awareness isn't doing this. Awareness is always ever there, watching. And if it's thought intervenes, it's watching thought. If illusion intervenes, it's watching illusion, etc., etc. There's no doing at all. Do you see that? Awareness cannot do. What is awareness? It's got no form. What can a formless stillness do? What does it do? It sees. Or no, that's too much. It. You see what it does. Look, let's not put words to it. You see what awareness does. Shows, illuminates, whatever. It doesn't tell you what that thing is. Eckhart Tolle tells you what that thing is. He's betraying awareness. He's not giving awareness the chance to see what is and to transform what is. So what is he doing? Accumulating an almost infinite karmic debt for himself by the looks of it. And I feel desperately sorry for him. I think he's suffering the deleterious effects of Western social conditioning, which includes an incredible arrogance in the fields of truth. I think that's destroyed a lot of people. Anyway, I'm going to stop it there, but just use your reason, guys. He's dependent on every or every sort of animalistic part of us. I'm not saying I'm particularly exempt from all of this. I'm not claiming some superiority, but I'm saying why would true spiritual power depend on hoarding wealth, on a sexual relationship? Look, to me, I don't think I could ever say that I am love and fuck someone, to be quite honest. And if it was to have a baby, I wouldn't want to do it, to be quite honest. I wouldn't want to do it because there's a desire and a pleasure of a body. And to me, that seems beneath love. I'm just being honest. So am I sick? Or is Eckhart Tolle sick? I don't know. You can't have lower passions like that dominating the work of consciousness and displaying it to the world as being okay. The company you keep tells everything. You mix with spiritual vampires and promote other spiritual vampires implicitly by gracing yourself with your presence, them with your presence. It's disgusting, disgraceful, an abomination, obscene. I doubt he'll ever address this, but I think his consciousness knows this. He, it must do. So I don't know what they're going to do with him.